I spent 3 hours assembling a gorgeous beaded ceiling fixture, only to turn it on and realize it barely moved the stale air in my living room. I bought into an aesthetic without understanding the mechanics. Choosing between a woven rattan fan and a beaded Bohemian fixture feels like a simple design choice. It is not. Make the wrong pick, and you are stuck with a dust magnet or a weak breeze. Here is what matters when deciding between rattan and boho fans, and the one hidden detail that will completely change your final decision. The great categorization trap. The biggest mistake buyers make right out of the gate is treating these two terms as interchangeable equals. They are entirely different concepts that require different evaluation methods. Rattan refers to a very specific physical material sourced from the flexible stems of climbing palms native to tropical regions. It is a tangible thing you can physically touch, bend, treat, and weave into complex patterns. Bohemian, on the other hand, is a broad and subjective design philosophy. It is an eclectic, relaxed, and intentionally rule-breaking aesthetic that pulls heavy inspiration from global travels, artistic lifestyles, and unconventional decorating habits. When you walk into a home improvement store or browse vast online lighting catalogs, you will quickly notice the marketing overlap. Almost all rattan fixtures can fit beautifully into a Bohemian-themed room because they bring that desired natural element. However, a Bohemian ceiling fan absolutely does not have to feature a single piece of rattan to achieve its goal. A boho fan might be crafted entirely from draped whitewashed wooden beads, intricately knotted hemp rope, or even fringed macrame cotton suspended from a distressed bronze frame. Therefore, your first step is deciding if you are hunting for a specific physical texture to match your existing furniture, or if you are simply chasing an overarching relaxed vibe for the room. The reality of woven rattan. These fans heavily utilize organic woven textures, usually featured on the primary blades themselves, or intricately wrapped around the central motor housing and light kit. The visual impact in a room is undeniable. A large, well-constructed rattan fan anchors a room, instantly giving the space a coastal, tropical, or deeply traditional atmosphere that commands attention. But that significant visual weight comes with practical realities you absolutely need to consider before scheduling an installation. Natural rattan is a highly porous organic material. If you install a natural rattan fan on a covered outdoor patio, in a humid sunroom, or in a bathroom, it will eagerly absorb ambient moisture from the air. Over time, that constant moisture causes the beautiful woven blades to warp, sag, lose their structural integrity, and eventually degrade. If you need a fixture for a damp environment, you absolutely must verify that the fan uses a synthetic, weather-rated resin wicker rather than natural palm material. Furthermore, rattan blades are typically shaped into traditional wide paddles. These wide paddles are fantastic for scooping up large volumes of air and pushing it aggressively down into the room, creating a wide canopy of constant circulation. You get a predictable, highly effective breeze that easily reaches the far corners of your living space. Defining the Bohemian aesthetic. Now we look at the other side of the aisle. The Bohemian category is a massive wild card. Because boho is a subjective style rather than a strict material requirement, manufacturers have immense freedom to get incredibly creative with their designs. You will frequently see hundreds of draped wooden beads forming a classic chandelier shape, intricately knotted cotton macrame hanging directly from the light ring, or distressed metals paired with brightly painted, mismatched wood elements. This artistic freedom means a boho fan acts as a primary art piece on your ceiling rather than just an appliance. However, this heavy focus on artistry often completely changes the mechanical functionality of the fan itself. Many of the most popular and visually striking boho fixtures on the market today are actually categorized as fandeliers. A fandelier is essentially a decorative, oversized light fixture that hides a small, high-velocity fan mechanism inside the center decorative cage. Instead of wide, sweeping blades measuring over 50 inches across, you get tiny, aggressively pitched plastic blades enclosed in a tight, restrictive circle. This architectural choice creates a highly localized, intense column of air directly downward. If you are sitting directly underneath a beaded boho chandelier, you will feel a strong, concentrated, refreshing breeze. If you step 2 feet to the left or right of that center point, the air is completely still. If your primary goal is to cool down an entire master bedroom or circulate air through a large open-concept living room, a purely decorative boho chandelier will leave you feeling uncomfortably hot and deeply frustrated. Maintenance and practical living. Think critically about the physical effort required to maintain a complex ceiling fixture. Reaching high up above your head with a long-handled duster while balancing precariously on a step stool is an annoying household chore under the best of circumstances. Your choice of fan design directly dictates exactly how painful and time-consuming this chore will be. This is especially critical to consider if you are designing a functional space for someone who wants to minimize difficult, physical household upkeep. Rattan is a literal dust trap. Every single square inch of a woven rattan blade features tiny gaps, overlapping organic fibers, and deep, unreachable crevices. Dust settles into these textured grooves effortlessly. If you live in a humid climate, or if the fan is located near an open kitchen where cooking oils regularly become airborne, that loose dust quickly turns into a sticky, stubborn, cement-like grime. You cannot just swipe a standard feather duster over it and call it a day. You have to get up close with a soft brush attachment on a heavy vacuum cleaner, or manually wipe every individual woven slat with a damp microfiber cloth. Conversely, the routine maintenance of a boho fan depends entirely on the specific material the designer chose to feature. A fixture draped in smooth, sealed wooden beads is surprisingly easy to clean. A quick wipe down with a dry cloth catches the dust resting on the rounded surfaces without much fuss. However, if you choose a boho fan heavily decorated with hanging cotton macrame fringe, you are actively inviting disaster into your cleaning routine. Cotton fringe aggressively absorbs airborne odors, traps floating pet hair, and holds onto dust like a sponge. You cannot easily wash or vacuum a fragile ceiling fan tassel without ruining the knots. Performance and lighting differences. The final crucial piece of the puzzle is illumination and light quality. A ceiling fan usually serves double duty as the primary overhead light source for a room, and the physical design of the fixture drastically alters exactly how that light behaves in your space. Rattan fans very commonly enclose the light bulbs entirely inside a tight woven basket or a thick drum shade. The designers do this on purpose to hide the ugly mechanical components of the light kit and maintain the seamless, natural aesthetic of the fixture. The inevitable result is a highly textured, obstructive light pattern. The bright bulbs push light forcefully through the woven gaps, casting dramatic, slatted shadows across your walls and ceiling. This creates a beautiful, moody, textured atmosphere that looks incredible in a real estate photograph or during a quiet, relaxing evening. But it is a genuinely terrible environment if you actually need to read a small print book, accurately fold dark laundry, or see clearly enough to safely navigate a cluttered room. The woven shade severely restricts the total usable lumen output. Beaded Bohemian fans handle light projection very differently. The draped wooden beads tend to act as a natural soft diffuser, breaking up the harsh light without completely blocking it from reaching the floor. The shadows cast by rounded beads are much softer, blurred, and less intrusive to daily activities. Alternatively, many boho designs decide to skip the restrictive shade entirely and feature fully exposed vintage Edison-style bulbs. Making the final decision. We are finally at the end of the line regarding this decision. The hidden detail that ruins so many expensive purchases is assuming that a beautiful design automatically comes equipped with effective practical mechanics. If you prioritize wide room-filling air movement and want a grounded, heavy tropical presence in your room, the traditional woven rattan paddle fan is absolutely your target. If you instead want an artistic focal point, a unique conversation starter, and you only need localized intense cooling directly over a bed or a specific seating area, the beaded Bohemian chandelier is the perfect, stylish choice. You get generally easier maintenance and softer, more diffused lighting, all wrapped in a beautifully eclectic package.